Exercise number 1 is the dumbbell incline lateral raise.
So this is a solid pick to kick things off. It's underrated but super effective for isolating the side delts without needing a machine. Since you're using free weights, you're also using your stabilizers a bit more than a fixed path machine would.
Just because it's a way for you to target the side delts in a relatively full range of motion, and with free weights, lots of flexibility on the technique and the positioning. So it's just a good exercise in general.
So that freedom is a big plus here. You could tweak the incline angle or change your arm path slightly to better suit your shoulder structure. So finding the right setup that suits you can make a huge difference in comfort and effectiveness.
One of the benefits we can get on the incline lateral is we can sit down. How much harder could standing up with them be? But there's lots of stabilization required when you're standing.
Sitting takes the sway and momentum that often sneaks into standing raises. This forces your shoulders to generate all the power, making each rep more honest and more productive.
No body English on here, very strict control, an opportunity to control all the way down and then come all the way up. You don't have to do this, but I prefer coming a little bit above parallel and taking a slight pause at the top.
So by adding that slight pause at the top, adds tension to your delts where they're most engaged, and it also helps eliminate cheating. This makes lightweight feel heavy fast and gives you a more focused contraction.
And it's the fact that when you pause at the top, you can get a really good mind-muscle connection with your side delts.
When you slow things down and stop rushing, you can really feel that mind-muscle connection. That connection helps you target the exact muscles you're aiming to grow, especially important on detail-focused lifts like this.
Top tier, S tier delt exercise is going to be, in this case, a machine lateral raise.
So machine lateral raises are one of the most consistent and effective ways to isolate your side delts. Since the movement follows a fixed path, it removes momentum and adds extra body movement, helping you focus purely on the lift with your shoulders.
The thing with the lateral raise machine is there's a bunch of different techniques you could do with it. My recommendation to you is to use a technique that doesn't try to lift the most possible weight.
So it can be really tempting to stack the weight here, but if you add more weight than you can handle, you're shifting the tension away from your delts into your traps, and you might even use some momentum. You have to remember, lightweight with the full control is where the movement shines.
As with every other shoulder move, it is critical for the best possible effects that you take advantage of that controlled eccentric. So once you come up, you can pause or not pause, but make sure when you ride it down, you are slowing the weight actively with your side delts all the way to the bottom.
So the eccentric lowering phase is key here. Resist the machine as it pulls your arms down. That control negative keeps the delts under tension longer, which is key for muscle growth.
Rep ranges on this can be quite variable. Some of these are very comfortable setups. Even reps as low as 8 or 10 are possible if your shoulder joint thinks it's cool. And of course, because it's a select drive stack, you can go up to sets of 30 in your first rep. You could do my rep match. You could do all that stuff.
So this is a great movement to play around with in terms of rep ranges. You could go heavy for lower reps or do high rep burnouts. It's versatile and effective in both ranges depending on how your shoulders are feeling on that day. If you're finding this helpful so far, hit the thumbs up. It will really help the channel out.
The cross body lateral raise. Downsides. The downside on this exercise is that it's going to take some time to do because you just do one arm at a time.
Yes, so it does take a lot longer to do one side at a time, but that focused attention lets you iron out imbalances and hit each delt with more precision. So it's a trade-off worth making if delt detail is the goal.
In my personal experience and the experience of many other people I've been associated and coached, heavy just does not work well, because when the shit gets heavy, your tricep has to power a lot of the stability at the elbow, and you just totally lose mind muscle connection.
So it's not a lift where you want to chase those big numbers. Going too heavy often means your triceps or your traps start helping out too much and you lose tension on the muscles. Keep it light and focused.
Another concern is the height of the pin relative to your body. The more rear delt you want, the higher up the pin angle is. So if you have a free motion setup or regular cable setup, if you set up a pin that is roughly chest height and you pull out this way, it tends to be a lot of rear delt.
So the cable setup makes a big difference here. A higher anchor point hits more rear delt, while a lower one hits more of the side delt. You have to play around with this to find out what feels right for your goals.
So what you want to do when you start is get your VersaGrip or get your hand in the cuff, walk out to give some length to the cable, and then you turn, including with your feet, you walk and turn your whole body away from the cable stack. You shouldn't even be able to see the stack move when you're doing this. As you turn away, it's going to pull your arm closer and closer and closer and maximize tension at the stretch.
So the full body turn to face away from the cable maximizes the stretch and keeps tension on throughout the whole entire range. So let me know in the comments which variations you've tried or plan to use so far. I'm always curious to find out what's working for you.
Folks, the next exercise is the free motion lateral raise.
So the cable variation is great for keeping constant tension on the delt throughout the movement. The resistance curve here feels super smooth, making it easier to stay locked in.
Ideally, you want to position the cable stack pin situation at roughly hip height. And you want to step nice and far away from the machine such that at the very bottom stretch, your muscles are under maximum tension, and at the very top, they're under almost no tension at all because they're completely aligned with the cable.
You want to set the pulley at roughly hip height and step out to create a long line of pull. That step up gives you a maximum stretch at the bottom, right where the side delts are under the most mechanical tension.
A big one here is don't swing the shit out of these weights. It's a cable, you get tired, it's easy to start hipping in. Very strict control. You don't have to pause at the top. As soon as you get to the top, eccentric, note, always shoulder activation.
So this exercise punishes sloppy form instantly. Swinging your body or rushing through reps means you're missing out the targeted tension. Strict control movement is non-negotiable if you want results.
And my recommendation is go for that big stretch to where your arms are behind your body. Hold for a second or two there, really punish that side delt and come all the way back up again.
So pulling your arms slightly behind your body at the bottom adds a unique loaded stretch. That stretch is uncomfortable but effective. It trains the delt in a lengthened position most exercises miss.
As far as pulling height, if you put the load into your hips just about when you get to about here, 30 degrees north of parallel to the ground, you're going to notice you're not even getting any more tension. And that's kind of where the movement stops.
So there's no need to go too high at the top. Once you pass about 30 degrees above parallel, tension actually drops off. Focus on the efficient range and don't waste energy chasing extra height. If this video has given you new delt ideas, give it a thumbs up. It helps more people see it.
Right, the last delt exercise is actually a combo of a barbell front raise to a barbell upright row. It's a mechanical drop set, so that's why we're using it.
So this is a smart way to absolutely torch those delts. Start with front raises, which are harder, and switch to upright rows without resting. You're still training, just shift into an easier mechanical position.
The barbell front raise is mechanically more difficult than the upright row because the lever arm is like twice as long of you getting out here versus coming in here. And we all know enough physics to know that as you extend the lever arm, it multiplies the force requisite at the joint.
Front raises are tough because they use a long lever arm. Your arms are straight and far from your body, making even a lightweight feel significantly heavy. That extra difficulty makes it a great first half of a drop set.
The front raise technique, there's a lot to say here. Can you use a little athleticism to get the concentric going so that you can slowly follow that eccentric down? Yes. Ideally, that's for more advanced folks. If you're just starting out or intermediate, everything's strict from start to finish.
If you're advanced, a little momentum on the way up could help grind out those last few reps. But for most, strict controlled form from start to finish is best, especially to keep your shoulders safe.
So every time you do a front raise, ideally come up to 45 degrees or a little higher, and then here's the critical component. Don't just coast through that middle range. Come up through that middle range and then lock in and slowly, more slowly than otherwise, it could just take a second, but actively contract your side delts and really slow that weight down.
That slow lowering phase is where the real progress happens. Instead of letting the bar fall, control it on the way down. That tension is what drives muscle growth.
You're not going to use a lot of weight in this exercise. A lot of times I just use like a 45-pound bar because you're usually doing higher reps here, sets of 10, sets of 15, sets of 20, maybe even more.
So this exercise isn't about going heavy, it's about time under tension, full range, and controlled reps. Even a really lightweight can feel brutal by the end of it if you're doing it right.
The way we like to do upright rows in this situation is for crazy psychotic range of motion because the unloaded bar is light for you, whatever, maybe it'd be 30 or 20 pounds that you're using. It's lightweight and the delts are really fried, so it's an opportunity to really kick that ROM in.
So that's it. Once your front delts are fried, the upright row allows you to keep going. Because the bar is closer to your body, the movement is mechanically easier, making it the perfect finisher to burn out every last bit of fuel. So Dr. Mike's 5 favourite side delt exercises are now on the screen. Give them a go and let me know how you get on in the comments. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and watch this next video.